Today we're going to be talking about Freud and looking at a LCSW test prep question on Freud's developmental stages. Hello, welcome back to my channel, Mental Health with Melissa. I'm Melissa. If you're new here, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more content. I post new videos every Sunday and Wednesday, and subscribing to my channel really helps me get mental health information out there to our communities of color, and tons of LCSW test prep for those that are studying for their LCSW exam, including information to those that are interested in the mental health fields. So today I have a test prep question for you on developmental stages. I get a lot of requests and questions on developmental stages. There's tons of developmental stages and theories out there, and different theories are going to be on the LCSW exam. So I've done some other developmental theories and stages by different theorists, so check out those videos. I'll leave them in the description box below. Today we're going to be talking about Freud and looking at a LCSW test prep question on Freud's developmental stages. So as normal, please pause here, try to take read this question and take your knowledge and pick the option and then compare it to mine so that you can kind of see where you're at. But let's go ahead and get started. I already highlighted some key terms here. Janet tells Gail that they have to team up on the girls' team against Mark and Andrew, the boys' team. According to Freud, Janet is likely in what stage of development? So we're going to be taking a look at Freud's psychosocial developmental theory. So he has several different stages in his developmental theory. So based on what we're seeing here, let's go through each of the options. Option A, oral. So according to Freud, the oral stage is really birth to around the first year. And during this time, a baby's primary interaction with the world is through the mouth, hence the oral stage. So they're learning through tasting and sucking and oral stimulation. And that doesn't really seem like what's going on in this vignette. And again, this is birth through 1 year. And it sounds like Janet is really interacting with people at this point by communication verbally. So it seems that she's past the oral stage. Option B, latent. So the latent stage, according to Freud, is when somebody is from 6 years old to puberty. So puberty can be really different for different people. So we don't know exactly what the age is, but we do know that the latent stage starts at 6 and then goes until puberty. So during this stage, children are developing social skills and are starting to understand how valuable relationships are with their loved ones and to those that are outside of the family. So this could be it, but let's kind of look at the other options before we make a choice at this point, because again, this stage, a latent stage, is 6 to puberty, and again, children are learning relationships outside of the family. But let's see what else we have as options here. Option C, the genital phase. So according to Freud, the genital phase is from puberty to adult, which is the final stage in his developmental stages. And during this time, people are developing strong feelings and interests in the opposite sex. And at this point, this is meaning that people have a well-balanced life and are well-balanced people. That doesn't necessarily sound like what's going on up here, because Janet is teaming up against the boys. So that doesn't sound like the right answer. Lastly, option D, the phallic stage. So according to Freud, the phallic stage is ages 3 years to 6 years old. And this is the primary focus of the id's energy at this point is on the genitals, and children during this stage are very aware of their gender identity. So if we look back up here to the vignette in question at hand, we see that Janet is focusing on a girls versus boys team. So the phallic stage, 3 to 6 years old, is going to be the answer at this point, and the other options are not correct. So if we're going into details about Freud's stages of psychosocial development, he believes that people's personalities develop through childhood stages, through the pleasure-seeking energies of the id. And oral stage, the first stage, so there's 5 stages. The first stage, as mentioned, is the oral stage, birth through 1 year. So really focus on the infant finding out things through the mouth. The second stage is the anal stage. So the first to the third year, so ages 1 through 3. And this is when toilet training is a primary issue. And if you are too excessive and clean, that can affect personalities later in life, is what Freud believes. The phallic stage, as we decided, is the option for this question here. Again, is ages 3 to 6, and this is really focused around gender identity. Now, a major downfall of Freud's stages of development is it's really focused on a heterosexual normative type of thinking, when there's the spectrum of sexuality is very grand, and so they don't take that into consideration, or he doesn't take that into consideration. So that's something that if that comes up, and I'm not sure if that will come up on the test, but that is definitely a huge downfall and criticism of Freud's stages of development, because he doesn't address the fluidity of sexuality. He's very just black and white about gender roles. And then the latent stage is 6 years old to puberty, as mentioned. This is when individuals develop relationships outside of the family. And lastly is the genital stage, so puberty to adult. And this is when, again, as I mentioned, individuals develop interest in the opposite sex. So again, it is very focused around this normative heterosexual type of thinking, and it doesn't leave much room to discuss sexuality on the spectrum, and to those that are very fluid in their sexuality. So those are the major stages of Freud's developmental theory. Thank you so much for watching. Please, again, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more videos like this. Until next time, managing mental health matters.